Let's do the pledge. Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Granger, I was looking for the digital clock. And I had to go back and say, is it 5:30 yet? All right, Chuck.
Yeah, so we'll just start off on it's the annual time to update on some board member changes, and so we got the acknowledgement to receipt of the election certificates for Rick and Randy's seat. Obviously, they ran unopposed, so congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And then next up is the discussion and possible board action for the annual appointment of officers, and I'll leave that to you guys.
Have you talked to Scott? Is he willing to be president?
He is.
Okay. Unless there's any discussion, I nominate Scott to be president of the school board for the next year. Is there any discussion?
No,
No.
Okay.
I think you have discussion
Okay.
before you know.
Ms. Shamhar?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are you willing to be the vice president?
I am willing to serve as the vice president. Thank you. All
I nominate you to be the vice president
right. Thank you.
and clerk, or deputy clerk.
I'll second.
So,
Okay? Any discussion?
No.
Ms. Shamhar?
Aye. Aye.
aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So I think the next one then is the clerk, since I just moved on to a different one. So I would nominate Kinder Shamhart as clerk, if she's willing.
Yes, I am.
Second. Any discussion? Ms. Shamhar?
Aye.
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 Aye. And you are now running the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. All right. We'll move on to Spotlight.
Yeah, well, I think Blair Ellis is
Bruins on
going
the
to
Run members.
introduce our Bruins on the Run lead mentors from our 6 elementary schools.
Kayla is so excited. I think she wants to be a mentor.
We can make that happen, Caleb.
Yeah. That can happen, Caleb.
So we like to recognize all of our Bruins on the Run mentors at the end of our season. This is our 6th season that we just wrapped up. Unfortunately, it was a little disappointing because the K-Life 10K race, which is our season-ending run, although our kids and our mentors were ready, I think, it was pouring down rain and freezing cold and windy, and we just made the call not to run. So we didn't have our end-of-the-season race, but they did have a great season with, of course, the Bruin 8K this fall, and then they trained up to that 10K race, had a great site-based pizza party right before it. We added up the hours. I think each of our mentors spends about 60 hours mentoring our students, which we greatly appreciate. They all do that on a volunteer basis. And they just put a ton of energy behind the program, not just getting the kids across the finish line, but really making it fun, making them feel special, making them want to be a part of this program. We have more and more kids at every site every year wanting to be involved, and it's because of our mentors. So tonight we could not bring in 58 mentors, which is what we have, so we brought in our 6 lead mentors. They, of course, do all the mentoring things that all of our mentors do, but they also are responsible for helping organize our kids at every site and leading the practices and the trainings and gathering our mentors together. So with that, I'll just start recognizing our 6 mentors. We only have 4 of them here today. We've got Shelby Thompson, and if you'll just come up, Shelby, and we'll get a quick photo. Bring your certificate, yes. We appreciate Lacey making those for us. So this is Shelby. She's our lead mentor at Hoover. She's done an awesome job. We struggled with some numbers at our mentor and student level at Hoover, but Shelby's done a great job taking the lead and increasing those numbers for us, so we appreciate her. Then we have Janine Lee at Jane Phillips. And Janine is the person that we can send out on our routes and scope them out for us, whether that's for the Bruin 8K or she helped us decide that it was definitely a good call not to run the 10K. So we appreciate her. And then Lindsay Setterson is at Wayside. Lindsay always has tons of kids, obviously, because it's Wayside, and we always worry about having enough mentors, but somehow she makes it happen, encouraging her mentors to participate so our kids can all have a safe and quality experience. And then we have Tasha Posh. She is our lead mentor at Wilson, and she does a ton with her team to make sure that all of our kids all of our kids have a great time and keep coming back. So they run the halls and do lots of fun things. Tasha is also our program coordinator. You guys might remember that from last year. She helps out with a lot of the communication between our parents and our mentors and our students. She deals with the race registrations, with coordinating the transportation, a lot of the logistical things so that I don't have to deal with that. So we're grateful for Tasha. All right, so thank you guys very much. So I think we had 117 students this year, and again, 58 mentors. So that's pretty much on par with what we've had in the past. We had to make some tricky calls at Ranch Heights due to just our numbers, but it's a good problem to have, and so we're hoping to keep going, keep growing. The other two mentors that are not present today, we have Celeste Clement at Kane, and then we have Hannah Michael at Ranch Heights. They just couldn't be here.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I really appreciate you guys for doing this because it wouldn't happen without your service. It's really amazing to think about 117 fifth graders running an educating fall and training for a 3K in the spring. The teachers are doing that for us. Maybe you should teach that to anybody? They should do that because they want to help kids do it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Spotlight this evening is the Bartlesville.
So we have a couple of videos that are made through the state chamber, and so I think they're about 3 minutes each.
If technology will cooperate.
It's muted. Right.
Oh, is it muted down here?
Yeah, right there.
Well,
Learning all the ropes and hats and hoses.
let's go back to the game.
I always wanted to be a firefighter ever since I was really little.
And Ella Goodwin is making her dreams come true, learning all the ropes and hats and hoses.
There's a lot more training, I think, than people realize.
If she looks young to be a firefighter, well, she is. Ella is realizing her goals much sooner than most. The 18-year-old is close to becoming a firefighter in her hometown of Bartlesville, thanks in part to an internship program.
We have people working with plumbers, with commercial electricians. These are just practice reps for kids within different careers. So it's not just that traditional pathway for our kids. We're kind of opening up because it's life ready, it's not necessarily college ready anymore.
Bartlesville High School set up their program to let kids get hands-on with future careers. Thanks to recent changes in state graduation requirements, those 2 hours on the job that Ella spent at Washington County each day her senior year, well, they can be counted as credits, allowing Goodwin to graduate on time with a head start in the real world.
The internship program gave me the opportunity to kind of get more into it and see like the actual, what it's really like.
That's been a goal of ours for a long time, is trying to recruit younger folks into emergency services, particularly the fire services.
Many of the certification classes needed have been taken at Career Tech, so Ella is close to becoming a firefighter.
Because she's been able to obtain the training and stuff through the internship program and beyond, that a lot of beginning firefighters, even when they reach 22, 23, 24, may not have reached those benchmarks yet.
Thanks to the internship, she knows she wants a career as a first responder, and her bosses know she'll make a good one.
Getting to work with these young folks and seeing them in that day-to-day setting in the office and seeing their work ethic, seeing their attitude, their behavior, how they approach certain tasks, especially if they find something challenging, how do they meet those challenges? And that gives us a better idea of what that candidate or that intern might turn out to be as a full-time employee.
Employers, educators, and students alike say internships and apprenticeship programs are well worth a shot.
I would say go for it because any real world experience you can get while you're young, like you're building connections, you're starting that growth earlier on.
But if we want life-ready kids here in Oklahoma with this business-friendly environment that we boast and we proudly have, we've got to get kids practice reps.
This incredible
I work on whatever the current project is. I've always felt like I provide value. I've always felt like I receive real assignments.
Owen May is a senior at Bartlesville High. Through his school, he's going downtown to do a 2-hour daily internship at Phillips 66 in the HR department.
I'm more sure that business is like the correct career path for me. I know I want to stay local, and oil and gas is a big deal in Oklahoma, so I feel more sure about my future.
Thanks to recent changes in Oklahoma graduation requirements, high school students like Owen will be able to use their internship credits towards their diploma, putting them on a faster track to a career decision and lifetime success.
They get that experience, and it allows them to figure out, is this something that I want to continue to pursue, so that they are life ready. So many times in the past we would say, are they college bound, are they college ready? And we want, through the internship program, to make them life ready and work ready.
Yeah, just a no-brainer. I mean, this is an opportunity for us to give real-world experience, both for as a future employer, but as a student, what a great opportunity to find out, hey, I think this is what I want to do, but let's go find out. Let's go see if this is really the good fit that I think it is. And before I go spend 4 years or 2 years, whatever it may be, 8 years, in studying this, let's go find out if I really think this is the fit I think it is.
Bartlesville High has some 65 interns this year working in a number of fields all over Washington County, but school administrators know there could be more.
The internship program is a workforce development tool for any community out there. And for every Bartlesville, there's a Nowata, there's an Alva, there's an Altus that needs something like this so they can grow and retain their own workforce. So if you can reduce the barriers of entry, just basic free market principles, so that we reduce the liability on our business partners, that's going to open up more doors for our young Oklahomans, so they're not going out to Texas, they're not leaving to California and to the East Coast, and they're staying here in Oklahoma.
While students get the experience, employers benefit too.
You think about this kind of like a working interview. As an employer who doesn't like that opportunity to really be able to find out, is this going to be a good fit? And then to develop a relationship with a kid before they go off to get that degree or get that certificate, whatever it may be, they're a known quantity at that point in time. You know what you're getting back.
As for the students, they know internships are a great way to start down the road to their career goals and ambitions.
School's only until the end of high school or only until the end of college, but an internship is like, especially one where you're getting really valuable experience, you're setting yourself up for the future and, really like thinking about your next steps. So I would definitely recommend it to anyone.
Those videos were done through the state chambers PR department too. And there's others that they have as well, but we kind of want to highlight our kids. They did a really nice job. And Mr. Tucker came to say a few words for us. Yeah. Anthony.
Good evening. So I have Ella Goodwin with me. You saw her in the video. It has been, the internship program has been instrumental for so many kids. We have 102 kids within the program this year. That includes juniors and seniors, and some changes in graduation requirements, like was talked about in the videos, has opened that up for some kids so they don't necessarily have to be credit rich to get those opportunities, right? So that opens up kids, they might be on a different spectrum GPA-wise, right, or academically how they performed, but it gives them a shot to see a career pathway, especially here in Bartlesville. So Ella was able to serve with the Washington County Emergency Management with our friend Carrie Cox, and that's kind of opened some doors for her. She also tested for the firefighter department here in the city of Bartlesville, but it all started with Carrie. So you were able to serve the county fire department as well during your time, and be Firefighter 1 program at Tri-County Tech with our partner out there with Career Tech. So she's actually on the brochure right on the front. I don't know if she's super happy about that, but it's amazing because there's so many kids, and I know seeing Michael Harp and LaDonna Chancellor, and I know Chuck, your time at the high school, there's so many kids that just need one door to open for them, right? And that's what we do when we're in this business, and you guys on the board and us and the public ed side, that's what our job is, day in and day out, to open those doors for those kids. And if they don't believe it, we have to believe it for them. So Really proud of Ella. Owen May is unable to be here. He's with Coach Reese and the tennis team down in Oklahoma City. So his mama texted me and Michael earlier today and was like, oh, by the way, he can't make it. So appreciate the opportunity. We have great kids and we love for more stories to come out. And we have about 65 business partners in our community. So of course with our big partners downtown, but as well as the growth within small businesses, Ascension St. John, Jane Phillips Medical Center, say that 5 times fast, you'll get tangled up. But they have grown. We have 40 kids serving clinical internships there. For next year, we have 70 applicants for those 40 spots. So yeah, so it's a great. We have great partnerships out there, and we're just excited to see more kids like Ella and Owen open up more doors for them, and hopefully come back home, right, and grow our workforce here in our great community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Public comment? No? All right, moving into superintendent's report, teaching and learning update.
Yeah, thank you. Before I turn it over to LaDonna, I just wanted to mention, we talked a lot about the anxious generation and cell phones. This past Thursday, I substituted at Madison all day. I did a drawing for a teacher to get a free vacation day, and it was with Miss Tiffany Munn's 7th grade English class all day on Thursday. And I didn't even think about it until class was over, but I didn't see a cell phone all day. And I was in 6 different classes. I thought that was pretty. A lot of people want to know that. That's what happened. Now they were probably threatened with their lives, but it worked. So anyway, okay, LaDonna.
Well, and if I could just join in with that. It seems like a lot of states are considering.
Oh yeah.
I see it in the press all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of states are considering no cell phones in schools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's happening.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we recently graduated, if you will, our 3rd cohort of New Teacher Academy participants. So we had a reception for them the first week of April, and just really proud of this program. Over the last 2 years, we retained about 90% of the teachers that we've brought through that program, and looking forward to continuing that as we go forward. All right, and we've had a little professional development recently. So we had a team of kindergarten teachers, along with Stacy Bankston, principal at Wilson Elementary, and Tiffany Holmes, principal at Hoover Elementary. Went on a couple of site visits last week, and they started out visiting a Leader in Me Lighthouse School in Carrollton, Texas, to just really see what Leader in Me school looks like in action. So, and you can see that's the picture on the right, and that little 4th grade team of students led their tour and gave them all of the good info. So they said it was very impressive. So that was day 1. Day 2, they got to tour the Dr. Jandrucko Academy for Early Learners in Mansfield, Texas, which is a school that I got to tour a couple of years ago. And it's all play-based learning at this early learning center. And as part of our conversation with the anxious generation, not only have we been looking at screen time and limiting that, especially for our younger learners, but also just play-based learning and how you balance that. And they do an amazing job of that at this early learning center. So just to give you a little anecdotal feedback, one of our veteran teachers that was on the trip was literally crying in the car on the way home, was so excited to start and implement some of the things that they learned next year. So so that was a great trip for that team. Yeah.
Early learners. So is that school age still early learners, or was it for?
Great question. It's pre-K. This building is pre-K. Now, those same strategies, we hope to replicate. Our plan is to replicate those in pre-K and kinder.
Okay.
So, yes.
And I mean, the picture looks really fun with some. So is some of that play-based learning kind of dependent on reimagining the classroom, or are they able to start implementing some of those with our more traditional classroom setups today?
Oh, great question. And actually a whole part, the very last section of this workshop is, okay, I don't have a spaceship in my school. How do I make this work? So they talk about how you take your existing curriculum and you build all of the pieces and the strategies that they're using. And really, you just get away from so much sit and so much paper pencil. They're still doing a lot of the same activity, but it's just through activity based. And each student is paired up in twos. They do it's very, very structured. It's max 10 minutes seat time, then rotations for 30 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes at a station, and then they move in 2 minutes. So it's really, they've got it down to really fine art. Yeah, it's really impressive. Yes. Okay, and then just a couple of save the dates for you. Special Olympics send-off is May 14th at 7 o'clock in Hillcrest Drive Circle. So we always love to go out and celebrate our Special Olympics as they're heading out. And then graduation, May 23rd at 7 o'clock at Custer Stadium. And there won't be rain, but just in case there is, we'll adjust and either go at a different time on Friday or on Saturday. So that's it. That's all I got. Thank you.
We've got Caleb Robenstein. Unfortunately, here for his last meeting, we're not very happy about, but.
That's why I came.
Okay.
If I can see everybody.
You can't take the flag?
But it's like I said, I'm still going to be in Bartlesville, so, I might sit in and have a public comment from time to time. Anyway, no, construction update at Ranch Heights. Everything's going really well over there. We did the punch walk 2 weeks ago in the new safe room area. Walked all the classrooms. Everything looks really good. As compared to Wayside, similar layout, similar construction, but just the team kind of knows our expectations a little better. So there was far less things that we kind of had to point out. So it's in a really good spot. And then the elevator is going good. We actually, as a team, we discussed pulling the start date up sooner and starting that sooner so we can kind of get the elevator, the schedule to get it delivered more in a timely manner as opposed to pushing it out farther into the distance. So we jumped ahead on that one. So that one's going really well. We've had some preliminary meetings and conversations around the moving out as it relates to some of the summer work where it talks about the interior renovations. So reviewed some of the renovated spaces. We gave Manhattan some dates for when those areas are going to be moved out. I've had some conversations with Chanda about moving spaces and how we're going to do that. Kind of just reiterated what we did at Wayside. So had some good conversations there. And probably looking around the 1st of May to start moving stuff into the new classroom areas. So the pre-K, the K classrooms, as they have stuff packed up and ready to be moved out, we'll move that into the new areas and kind of sit it in the middle of the room to be able to kind of start that move out process. But overall, site work's going to start. They were supposed to do the asphalt today. I don't know with all the rain how well they're going to be able to get that done. But the site's supposed to start. They're going to start in that little courtyard area and kind of work their way counterclockwise out and then back to the north and then work on that parking lot area. So, but overall, it's looking really well. They're in a good spot. Budget and schedule looks good. So.
Caleb, still not too late.
I appreciate that. Any questions?
Do you have a question, Andrew?
Well, I don't know whether to ask Caleb or who to ask. So I know those are our major efforts, but also this time of year, you also usually collect input from all the school sites on some summer projects, just with some of our other.
Yeah, no, that's
are there
actually,
any things that you have on the radar for the summer months?
Yes, we have multiple projects or requests at each site. So for the past several weeks, I've been going through a lot of the things on the board agenda tonight, I believe, are related to some of those schoolwork things. Multiple POs as related to materials. Just so instead of trying to get it in May, we're trying to push it up, get it approved today, so we can start ordering materials for the summer projects. But yeah, I anticipate doing projects at every site. Each principal kind of put a top 4 to 5 list of things, and we're trying to say, okay, yeah, we can do this, or this is probably going to be a little bit too expensive. What are we going to do here? What about this option? The Sodexo staff's going to perform some of them themselves in-house. For example, Wilson, Stacy requested it's an IT closet where the server is. They requested a wall to be built in there, and then they requested some dimmable lights be installed in one of their special needs classrooms. We actually did both those over spring break just to try to get ahead on that. And then we're taking some stuff that we've salvaged from Ranch Heights with this remodel, and we're going to replace a door at Wilson that's been giving us some problems and some fits. So trying to get ahead of some of that stuff now. Already talking with, I've talked with Kyle and had a lot of good conversations with him as far as, all right, here's what they're wanting done at this site. But there's a shared list of there's a shared drive, I guess is the right word, that has all that list of requests for each site. So yeah, pricing stuff out, continuing to price stuff out and try to get it to everybody, so.
Thanks.
Kyle Hendricks is the, I guess his
Maintenance supervisor.
Supervisor, and he was here before Caleb, and he's going to remain, so he's kind of he'll be our main contact in the transition before we get that position filled as well.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
Still not too late. Okay, Preston.
All right, so, thank you, Granger. Hi. So I'll start on page 1. You can see the general fund. We are up about $1 million, which is awesome. Spoilers, though, if you go to page 5, you will see we're down about $1 million in the building fund. That's all planned. We are hoping, again, to try to finish June around the $4 million mark, and by controlling expenses. The reason we're up so much right now is a combination of things, but the biggest is we we pay a whole lot of payroll in June. And so I'm trying my best to keep liquidity in the general fund for that big payroll that comes out in June. So long story short, we're tracking well. The local collections are actually interesting. Sarah Vermeer, our wonderful treasurer business manager, she notified me that the reason our interest earnings are actually lacking behind last year's collections has to do with the fact that last year we were strictly using an ICS or a sweep account. This year we're doing more long-range interest. Well, you cash out those sweep accounts every month. The T-bills or whatever cash out every 6 months. So we will see, it looks like our collections of interest earnings are low, but it just has to do with the timing of the payments. It's not nearly as low as it shows. Building fund real quick, I'll go to page 5. We pay 3 months worth of payroll in June because we got to pay it before June 30th, close our books. Yeah. And so every school does it. It's just a giant expense. If you look at our payroll expenses line for the month, multiply that times 2.9, and that's what comes out our bank account normally every June. Building fund real quick, I'll go to the next page. Like I said, we're down about $1 million. The interesting thing about that is last year we got some local donations. The Lions Foundation greenhouse money came in. We didn't get that this year, but we are outpacing net assessed valuation collections, so that's great. Also, we're about $1 million down, but last year we strategically used Redbud money to pay one VOAG Manhattan payment and one Wayside Manhattan payment. The second payment, I don't remember if it was the VOAG or the Wayside payment. It came out in May, so those will kind of clean it up a little bit. Again, our goal is to be around $4 million fund balance at the end of June 30th in the building fund, or in the general fund. Building fund will finish what it finishes. So. I just wanted to mention real quick on the consent agenda, we have the last remaining sanctioning application, Booster Club, Clearwater, third-party gas. We have to enter into a contract every year. J.D. Young contract, we took copier bids out. We received those, a team reviewed, and that's our recommendation. And then temporary appropriations, that's to start our fiscal year so we can encumber next year's bills and get our fiscal year started. This is the first step. The estimate of needs will replace it once we get it in, I'd say, September, that kind of thing. So if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them. If not, I will stop.
Okay, thank you, Preston. So our next board meeting is our regular meeting in May, which is Monday the 19th at 5:30. Moving on to the consent agenda, they are routine monthly items. Preston mentioned some of the unique ones, which was the sanctioning applications. The item J, which is the Clearwater Enterprises for the district third party. I do want to mention item K is a statutory waiver deregulation application for Bruin Academy. That's our alternative school. It's at the high school. They're on a 4-day week and have kids come in on Friday. The State Department has previously, we've done this before. We've approved the deregulation. And then they said we didn't have to approve it, and then so now they're saying again that we need to approve it here before we send it to the state board, so that's what we're doing. This is the same thing we've been doing now for several years, but that's what that is. Preston mentioned about the items L and M. Item O is just the annual approval of the E-rate resolution, which Granger, that helps us with federal funds for technology. And then the last one, item P, is just the annual approval of, we use OSSBA to handle our unemployment claims. That's just the annual agreement that we have with them. And I or any of the team will be happy to answer any questions if you have any. And I'll also point out in the in the personnel report, we have Ms. Goodwin is being recommended to be the next principal at Jane Phillips Elementary. So we have both good ones. Big day for the good ones tonight. Big day for the, glad to have you both here.
I definitely saw in the personnel a lot of movement at this time of year that's expected. Do you know what our current status is on on positions? How we're looking from wrap up the year? Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you off guard. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty light turnover really across the district, pretty unusual. A few retirements, and we've adding a few positions. We've had to add a few special education positions kind of across the district because of the need as well. Adding our 4th agriculture teacher so that we can offer that to 7th graders as well. So just kind of responding to where the enrollment needs are. But in terms of leaving, it's kind of spread out throughout the district. Really haven't had a whole lot.
All right. Any further discussion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda items A through P as submitted.
Second.
Ms. Shamhart? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Moving on to action topics.
Yeah, I believe Jericho or Nate?
You got the short straw?
I'm sure Nate would be happy to do this as well, but he actually collected all the signatures, so he did his part. I'll do mine. So we have 4 different agenda items, but the first of, there's 2 different bond series we'll be discussing, and the first of each of those is for me to present the bids of those bonds. So just a little, we spread out the set sail with the sale this year just because of the timing of some different items we had in front of you all. So it's been a little bit since we came here. So as a reminder, the 2025A series of bonds is our tax exempt series. It was $4,460,000, and that's part of the 23 election authorization. It's an 8-year term, and we had 3 bidders on that one today. The low bidder was BOK Financial Securities with a TIC true interest cost bid of 3.754489%. We also had Piper Sandler with a 3.808027%, and Robert W. Baird with a 3.868351%. I would recommend that you award to the low bid, BOK Financial Securities. Rates lately in the market, if you guys have been listening to financial news, they've kind of been all over the place. So this is a little higher than what we saw last year, 20 basis points higher than when we did a tax exempt bond last year. It is a longer term. Last year's bond was a bit shorter term, but just the rates market is higher today than it was last year when we sold our bonds as well. So there's nothing, I don't think, specific to a district. It's more of a market, what we were seeing in the market. Our rating stayed the same. We had a good ratings report, so nothing that should have contributed, like I said, from a district-specific standpoint. They do, I always feel queued up well when we talk about fund balance in the treasurer's report as a reminder that that fund balance is the most significant thing in the rating agency's mind in terms of when we have discussion with them. They don't love that the state of Oklahoma kind of drives the fund balance to be a lower percentage based on how we do financial funding for our districts, but they understand that. So the rating agencies are very familiar with how Oklahoma does funding. And so there's some credit that they give us per se in that rating. But we're always reminded that if that fund balance were to drop, there could potentially be a downgrade in the rating. So it's just nothing specific that you all are doing to warrant that warning. It's just something I do like to pass along, that the fund balance is very important for our rating. But is there any questions about the bids presented or the 25A bonds? All right, the second agenda item is the resolution to approve the bid, the low bidder BOK Financial Securities.
The second is to approve the low bid.
We need to have a motion to award the bid to BOK Financial Securities at an interest cost of 3.574489.
And that's the first one. That's A, right?
That's A.
Yeah, okay. All right, I move that we receive the bids for the purchase of $4,460,000 to BOK Financial for the combined purpose general obligation bond series 2025A as further submitted in that agenda.
Second.
Motion and second, Ms. Shammer? Aye.
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 Remind me or help me understand what B is and how it relates to.
The next agenda item is to adopt the resolution that actually authorizes the issuance of the bonds.
Okay.
You award it and then you issue it.
All right.
I move that we, I can do that one just as submitted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I move that we approve action item, action topic item B as submitted.
Second.
Motion is second, Ms. Shamhart? Aye.
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 All right. And now we move on to C and D, which is the Series B. Right.
So the 2025 B series is a taxable series bond. It's $1,035,000 and it's a short-term maturity, so it matures in 2027. Where the rates on the exempt bond were a little higher than we might have anticipated, the rates on the taxable were a little lower. So when we talk about our mill levy, they're somewhat going to offset each other, and we are still kind of on track for the projected mill levy that we target. So that's usually the thing that you all are most concerned about me answering is how will this affect our mill levy, and those offsetting rates were on target based on all the other variables in play. So we had two bidders on the taxable series. We had BOK Financial Securities, who was again the low bidder with a rate of 4.226789%, and Robert W. Baird was 4.726901%. And so we do recommend that you would award to BOK Financial Securities at that low bid percentage amount.
That or not?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a good idea for the record.
All right. Any questions? Okay. I move that we receive the bids for the purchase of $1,035,000 combined general purpose general obligation bonds taxable series 2025B of the district and vote to award those bonds to BOK Financial, which is the lowest bidder at 4.26789%. Notice of sale instructions and bidder rejected all bids.
It's actually 4.2267.
Okay, correction, 4.226789%. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Second. I guess I can say. Ms. Shamhart?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And as before, now we need to consider issuance of the bonds that we just awarded.
I move that we approve action topic item D as submitted.
Second.
Ms. Shamhart?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you,
Thank you
Jonathan.
guys for
Thank
coming
you,
up.
Nate.
The Turnpike.
Okay. Okay.
So do you guys need anything else before?
Just one real quick.
Okay, before we go into
I need
executive
a
session.
pen. All right, any other public comment, Lacey?
No.
All right. Okay. All right, and I propose that we move into,
Hold on just a second.
okay, do you have the,
They can be signed later.
They
Nate,
can.
the stuff for Nate, he's driving back to
Yeah,
Oklahoma
yeah,
City.
so-
That stuff I'll get tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, if you
All right,
could
sounds
sign
good.
that before you leave, that'd be fantastic. If not, I can track you all down.
I can't do two things at once, so I'm gonna sign these and hand it
Thank
back.
you, sorry.
I know that there's specific wording about the executive session. Is there something, is there a paper there?
There is.
Britt, can you?
Yes.
Would you be willing to hand me that?
Oh, I gotcha.
Yep, it's the next one.
Okay. Thanks, sorry.
I don't say what's on that one?
This one's my oath of office.
Okay, all right,
You could, it's for that reason right there.
all right.
So,
I propose we move into executive session to discuss the reappointment of administrators.
you have to do
Vote
that
for
section, I
Yeah,
think, even.
yeah.
Section 25 OS, Section 307B1.
That's it.
Second.
Ms.
She
Shamhart.
proposes
She
it.
proposed it.
I
Second.
proposed it.
Oh,
Aye. Aye.
aye.
Aye.
Aye.